not afraid to let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.
What's up, everybody? It's 49er Minded. I'm your host, Bashar, and today I have a very special guest. Goes by the name of Jay in the Bay, and if you don't know who he is, here's a little sneak preview of what we got in store today.
Another loss. When it rains, it pours. What is it? Trey Lance. Okay. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Straight to the Bay, baby. Straight to the Bay, baby. Straight to the Bay.
So that's him, y'all. So I wasn't able to bring Trey in the Bay, but I do have Jay in the Bay. Welcome to the show, Jay. How's it going today?
Hey, it's going pretty good. I gotta say, faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. And it's a pleasure to be on your show, Basher, 49er Minded.
Bashar.
Hopefully you're having a great Friday. How's it going, man?
Going good. It's Bashar though.
Bashar, okay.
I may bash things from time to time though. You never know if my Niners lose like they did last year. But hey, I'm really happy to have you on here, man. You're one of the few guests I was really hyped up to have on. So
cool, man.
Yeah, I love what you do on YouTube. You know, because you bring in that good Niner talk, and you bring in your opinions and your thoughts. But it's always good to have a laugh, and you know you find a way to get creative and throw that stuff in there. And I noticed lately you've been doing some cool things with the editing and stuff like that. You know, my editing game it's alright, but you know I'm still learning. And I noticed we got some comments on the screen. And I just want to say what's good to like you say, what's good. I can't do it like you, but let's just say what's up to some people in the chat.
Yeah.
So first off, we have Joey Mahoney, my good friend. What's up, fam? Make sure you sub to 49er Minded. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. And we have Mean the Dream, a Grant Cone Hall of Famer, Cone Phone Hall of Famer. Subscribe to his channel. I like what you're doing there. Let's keep it going. Let's see who else we got. Who else we got in the house? We got Waruna Pereira.
What's good? Waruna.
What's up, Ruben? He's over in the Sacramento area, like I am.
Nice.
We got Dick Nasty over here. I know who that is. I think I'm gonna get fined by YouTube for saying that. But, yeah, that's a good buddy of mine. His name is. I'm not gonna reveal his identity, but he knows. We know who he is. And this guy right here, all the way in Qatar. He's over in the Middle East. Oris, big Niner fan. Grew up in California and living over in the Middle East and repping the Niners hard over there. I really appreciate it. I've had a lot of talks with this dude on Twitter. Good guy. And we got my boy Adam Figueroa, the big soccer fan / 49er fan. Says good episode coming up. Appreciate it. So shout out to everybody in the chat. What's good to everybody in the chat, like Jay in the Bay says. And I'm excited, man. And if you guys aren't in the chat, if you guys are just watching, and say what's up in the chat, man. I know a lot of times people will hit me up and say, "Oh, I was watching, but I didn't want to jump in the chat." Hey, let me know you're here. Say what's up. So, yeah, man, I have Jay in the Bay on here. And I'm just curious, Jay. I know obviously you're a huge 49er fan, but what prompted you to start a 49er YouTube channel, podcast, and what drove you?
Great question. You know, I've been a 49er fan since I was probably like 10 years old, 11 years old. And my passion has always been the 49ers, the red and gold, the Niner Empire. And 2020 was a difficult year for pretty much the entire country, the entire world. And I had a lot of free time on my hands, being in the house. And I was like, hey, why not start a YouTube channel? Everyone's doing it. And I just talk about my Niners, and I try to bring my passion, my energy to YouTube. And I'm so glad I did. I wish I would have started my YouTube channel a lot sooner. But it's also great to build a community with other 49er fans, other NFL fans. And I'm so pumped for the season. I can't wait.
Okay, yeah, good to have you on YouTube, man. Without a doubt, I honestly did not know who you were until this off season. Your name popped up somewhere, or maybe I had clicked on your video somewhere sometime before the draft, and boom, I was like, oh, this guy's cool, man. He looks entertaining. And I went back, I was like, oh, this guy was actually making videos during the season. Myself, I actually started a YouTube channel. We're talking back in like 2009 when Crabtree was a rookie. It was called Bashar Cali 49. I don't know if you saw me that far back, but I had a little YouTube channel going there. And, I was doing good for a minute, but I just kind of got burnt out. And I told myself one of these days I'm going to start up here, and I'm coming back, and here I am. So let me just see what's up to a couple other people. It's a good friend of mine just popped in the chat. Fistan Balumbu, good buddy of mine. So what's up, Bash? Let's go. And Simba Webster. Simba Webster is his cousin, actually, and I knew about Simba because way back when he was in high school, because my boy Fistan over here would always tell me about him. We actually recently picked him up as a wide receiver. He was on the Los Angeles Rams. He went to Eastern Washington. Standout wide receiver were Eastern Washington, and was returning kicks for the Rams. Pretty good kick returner. I believe he's like 5'9", a smaller, shiftier type wide receiver that would compete with the likes of Richie James, Travis Benjamin. So it's going to be tough for him, but I do like the pickup without a doubt, and he's more of a deep threat type too. So we'll see whether or not he makes the team. I hear he does a lot on special teams in terms of being the gunner as well, from what I've been hearing. So. Oh, and Mahoney's got a question for you. I'll get to that later, though. I'll definitely will remember that question when we come around to it. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. This is Adam. Pettis no longer in camp. Already is a huge process. It's already a huge process. Oh, yeah. We might want to jump into it right now. Mahoney asked the question. Maybe I'll forget, so let's do it now. Joey Mahoney says, ask Jay in the Bay what his favorite player currently on the team is, or who is his favorite player currently on the team.
My favorite player right now on the San Francisco 49ers is the Ayuk show. Brandon Ayuk. It's been a while since the 49ers have drafted a wide receiver in the first round and had success. I know we drafted Debo. We got Brandon Ayuk, and he's a hell of a receiver. I love to watch him play. I believe he is the best receiver on the Niners, of course, besides Kittle. But yeah, Brandon Ayuk, he's my favorite player on the 49ers. Great question.
Oh, I'm super excited about what Brandon Ayuk's going to be doing this upcoming season. We're already hearing good things about him in camp. He looked great last year. The quarterback play necessarily wasn't there for him, in my opinion, for him to showcase his true talents and put up crazy numbers, but he's just getting started. Let me see. Oh, Horace over here out of okay, so Sean Mack says thumbs up, my friend. What's up, Sean Mack? Thank you for watching. And Horace, my boy over in Qatar, watching all the way in Qatar, says, just sub to Jay in the Bay for showing my boy Bashar some love on the show. Appreciate it. And, hey, if you're not subscribed to Jay in the Bay, hit up my description for the video that's running right now. If you hit up the description, it has all the links to all the platforms he's on. And you can subscribe to his YouTube, follow him on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. One more shout out right here. Tommy Hupsley says, what's up, MFers? I'm trying not to cuss out here. Try not to cuss. I usually only cuss when our team does bad. So Speaking of which, last season, our team, we were coming off of a Super Bowl appearance. And what was your take on what went down last season? Because it wasn't wasn't what we were expecting. Obviously,
last year's season was a nightmare. It would be a nightmare for any NFL fan base to have multiple players. I think we had about 20 players on IR last season. It was a terrible year, but I'm looking forward to this year. We had a lot of needs that needed to be addressed, in the offseason. I think Lynch and Shanahan did an excellent job in adding talent to certain areas on the team, offensive line, running back room, defense. The secondary got more veterans. And but going back to last year, it was basically a forgetful season, a terrible year. And hopefully health will be on our side. I think that's our biggest opponent this year coming up is health. If we're healthy, I think we can have a season that the faithful, the Niner Empire can be proud of. And I'm looking forward to the season.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, last year was very disappointing. People say injuries are a part of football, but no team ever expects the injuries that we had. I mean, from top to bottom, position by position, injuries left and right. Just like you said in your video, you were talking about somebody going down where you had the little umbrella. When it rains, it pours, and it poured last year, especially if your quarterback goes down. Because when you're stuck with, Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard, I'm sorry to say, but you're not going to be winning too many games. And, it was just terrible. And, last year we had Jordan Reed in the mix, remember? How whenever Jordan Reed stepped on the field, he produced, he'd get a touchdown here and there, and he was making really nice catches. But even with him, as good as he looked, he went down and he kept getting hurt every time he'd make a good play. And we never got to see him play next to Kittle. We were so excited to see him play next to Kittle, but it never happened. And it was very unfortunate. And, last year's with the injuries, when we had this year's draft, we had to go draft people at certain positions just to prepare for who would get injured and make your depth better. You always have to have that deeper team. Yeah. We would have never thought we'd have drafted running backs, and here we are, we're drafting 2 running backs, because Mostert, our great, explosive running back, got hurt. Jeff Wilson got hurt, and he got hurt again recently. So it's just the nature. It's a physical game, and sometimes you got to prepare ahead of time for that.
It's very, very unfortunate that Jordan Reed was hurt last year and he ended up retiring this past offseason. Because like you said, that would have been a great 1-2 punch at tight end, especially in the receiving game with Jordan Reed and George Kittle. I just wish those two, like you said, could have played more games together. And unfortunately, Jordan Reed has a long history, unfortunately, of concussions, and he's had a lot of injuries. So hopefully he does well, post NFL life. But it sucks that we couldn't see 2 of the better tight ends in the league together for a longer time. And
despite what Greg Cohn says about Ross Dwelly, I don't think he's a Jordan Reed type talent to play next to Kittle. He's all right. I'm not trying to bash the guy, but Greg Cohn talks about him like he's this amazing backup tight end. I don't know. I don't see exactly what he sees, but
I don't see that. Like Meek Mill says, there's levels to this, and when Kittle's in the game and there's a massive drop off from Kittle to the next tight end, I thought we should have got a tight end in free agency, maybe Zach Ertz, but I hear he's going back to the Eagles. But hopefully Kittle plays every game this year, and we don't have to worry that much about seeing a backup tight end play starter snaps. So
all right, just want to give a couple more shout outs. Some people hopped in late. Good buddy of mine, 49er Tone, who I know all the way back to the days of the Candlestick Tailgates. We're talking 2009. Says, love the show. Let's go, my brothers. Bashar and Jay in the Bay, holding it down. Go Niners. Appreciate it, man. He'll definitely, and 49er Tone's going to be a future guest on this show without a doubt. So when we have time to squeeze him in, we'll definitely make that happen. He's so passionate about the Niners. If you guys saw, he was actually featured. They had a video with him next to Hawk Hater TV where they were watching the Seahawks game where Kinlaw had that hit at the goal line. And they were like, he's short. They had a viral video on YouTube where they were watching that live. They were watching that video. And before the Vikings playoff game, they were right before the game started. They played an expert of that video, and it was pretty sick to see my boys on TV. I was literally actually talking about that video 5 minutes before they even played it on TV. I was like, oh, damn, look, it's on TV right now. So shout out to 49er Toe, man. Extremely passionate 49er fan.
I've seen that. I've seen that video that you're referring to.
I'm sure you have,
with Hater, Hawk, and Tone. So I gotta say, what's good?
I love that. I'll never get bored of that. What's good? Oh, here we go. We got 49ers cutback.
All right.
In the chat. What's up, guys? You guys are killing it on YouTube, by the way. You guys got over 1,000 subscribers now. You guys really break it down. You guys, it's like 2 former coaches. I think one of them's a current coach, actually, if I'm not mistaken. And Ant and Alex over the 49ers Cutback says, what's Jay and Bashar? I think he means what's good. About to go live, but wanted to show y'all some love. Oh, appreciate it. I don't know if that's Alex or Ant, but whoever it is, what's up, man? You guys doing a great job. You guys break down a lot of film. Those guys really know the game. If you're not subscribed to them, subscribe to the 49er Cutback. And speaking of which, I wanted to mention something about your channel. You're almost at 1,000 subscribers, man. Who knows? Maybe once this show's over, you're at 1,000, man. So you might get that notification.
That would be incredible. And of course, you guys can find me at Jay in the Bay on YouTube. I appreciate all the support. It's been a wonderful journey, and you'll be there soon, man. Just keep grinding. You'll be there.
So training camp is kicked off, and do you plan on attending any of the practices? Or are you going to be able to? Or
I'm not sure yet. I did look on the first day that they were available, and they were all sold out. So as of right now, no. But I'm looking every day to see if maybe some tickets are still available, because that would be nice. Because I've never been to a training camp practice, and I'm sure the people in the chat, maybe they would like to see that on YouTube. So, but as of right now, no. I've
been to my share. The one thing I did not like that they did in the past, I don't know if they're still doing it, and they have done it last year and this year, I know, at least in the OTAs and mini camps, is they have like one field that's like right in front of you, kind of like you're sitting at a small high school football field, and then they have these other fields that are further away. Like you literally need like a nice pair of binoculars to see what's going on. And sometimes they conduct the scrimmages, and the main heavy part of practice is on that far side of the field. So you're like sitting on these nice bleachers, hoping to see some good 49er action in practice, and lo and behold, it's on a field like so damn far from you that you need some great binoculars for. So hopefully, I used to get so annoyed whenever they did that, man. That was so irritating. But in general, training camp's cool, which is, I know people would line up and get autographs and stuff like that, but the lines would be so long. But in general, I've had good moments of training camps without a doubt. And speaking of training camps, I was hearing today, I'm just reading up what Grant Cohn's talking about, the Niner reporter that people love or they love to hate. And what they were talking about the running back room today, and I don't know if you heard of what's going on, but apparently Elijah Mitchell, who one of our draft picks, really stood out today. I don't know if you heard about that. But
No, I didn't hear about that, but that's definitely great news to hear. I was surprised that we drafted two backs as high as we did, because I thought we had pretty good depth prior to the draft. But I'm very excited about Trey Sermon. I think he will get a lot of carries. We know that Mostert has been nicked up the past few years with injuries, and we don't want to give Mostert that many carries. So I'm very excited to see Trey Sermon and what he can do. And also, unfortunately, Jeff Wilson Jr. will be out until I think November, December. So that'll give another opportunity to Wayne Gallman and Elijah Mitchell, as you mentioned. So I'm very excited about our running back room.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell ran like a 4.35, I believe. He's a shorter guy, about 210. So he's got some decent size to him for a shorter, faster, scat back type running back. And what they were saying today about him was, he was actually running between the tackles and had a lot of success running between the tackles. So you would think this fast, shifty type running back would only be good at running outside, but he's proven that he can run in the tackles. Now, keep in mind, guys, they're not hitting yet. I believe the first practices where they start hitting are going to be next week. But, what's up? Hey, a really big shout out to Dan Castillo, good buddy of mine. Shout out to his son, Alex. He watches the shows with his son Alex, and they're both big Niner fans. So good to have him on here, man.
What's good?
And Tacky Wacky says, finally made it to your live, brother. I don't know who this guy is personally. I might know him because he's using a name I'm not familiar with, but he's commented on my channel before. I'm thinking, and it sounds like this guy knows me, but who knows? But if you don't know me already, it's all good, man. We can be boys. It's all cool, man. Yeah. But yeah, what I heard about the running backs today was nobody had success other than Elijah Mitchell today. Which is pretty interesting. I was like, whoa, even Mostert. I was about to say Maserati. Tim Ryan calls him Mosterati with those breakaway runs. But yeah, so that's interesting to hear about the running back room. Elijah Mitchell shined today. He caught it by surprise. Grant Cohn was saying that he reminds him a bit of Breda. So that's going to be interesting to check out in the preseason which running back stepped up. I definitely want Trey Sermon to step up and be more of a bell cow type guy we can count on, possibly in the future be our main stud running back. When have we drafted a high profile running back with some serious upside in the Shanahan era? We haven't really. I mean, the last guy we kind of drafted like that was Carlos Hyde.
Yeah,
that was outside the Shanahan era, obviously. But this is a guy that Shanahan likes and feels like can fit our system, and could be more of a bell cow type guy that we haven't had. So that's going to be interesting. Let's shift over to the offensive line. What I'm going to kind of be focusing on today is a little bit more of like the rookie side of things, so to speak. It's the stuff I heard about what rookies are doing, and we could talk about the offensive line. And one interesting thing I heard today was about the offensive line, more so in Aaron Banks, progressing, and Jalen Moore. Aaron Banks, offensive lineman, guard coming out of Notre Dame. Big upside. They're saying he's a great pass blocker in college. And, they're really excited to have him. Plus, have him next to McGlinchey. McGlinchey's never really had a really good guard next to him. But so far, they said early on, he's kind of going through some growing pains in camp, which is understandable. Maybe by mid-training camp, who knows, he pulls it off and comes around. But that's going to be interesting to watch. What I did take note of today, though, was Jalen Moore, another offensive lineman they drafted. From what I was hearing, they were going to try to make him a guard, and they probably still plan on doing that. But right now, they actually I found out today that supposedly they like him a lot, and they have him as the second left tackle playing in front of Sean Coleman, who I was saying look out for Sean Coleman because I liked what he did on the Browns. But and even though he missed last year because of the COVID holdout, he sat out for COVID. Jalen Moore sounds like he might be a sleeper offensive lineman that we drafted. So if you want to touch on anything about the offensive line, feel free to.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely a need for us in the off season. We definitely needed to get better at the interior guard spot, and we also needed to get better at center. That's why I'm glad we picked up Alex Mack. Alex Mack is familiar with Shanahan's system. They were with each other in Atlanta, and I think they might have been with each other in Cleveland. But Alex Smith knows the system. I'm glad we got him. And yeah, I heard about Aaron Banks. He's a Bay Area kid. I think he grew up in I want to say Alameda. If not, it might have been Hayward, one of those two cities. But he's a Bay Area kid. It's good to have another Irish next to McGlinchey.
Irish, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I heard he was struggling a little bit, but he's going up against veteran defensive linemen. Yeah, exactly. He was going up against DJ Jones, Kentavious Street, Eric Armstead. Yeah, I would hope our defensive linemen would teach Banks how to play offensive lineman. That's what I would hope. But then I also heard about. You said, I think it was Jalen Moore. Yeah, they're, right now he's at the left tackle position behind Trent Williams. And I think it's good that he gets work at that spot and he can play guard as well. So I'm happy to see this offensive line progress as the training camp goes on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just want to say a shout out to a couple of new people that just hopped in. Actually, Panama Queen, what's up? How you doing? She's repping the Niners all the way over in New Jersey.
All right.
Good to see her in here. She knows her football big time, dude. She really knows a lot about the game. Big Niner fan. Been watching Niners for a long time. And we have this is one of your fans, Livy's World.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
What's
go. Good? Livy World. What's good, Livy's World? Yeah, good to have her on. Hey, I really appreciate all the people supporting Jay in the Bay, hopping on today's stream, and it's good to see a lot of new faces on here without a doubt. As far as the O-line goes, I heard Alex Mack was kind of getting abused a little bit today, but I think it was by DJ Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yep.
Alex Jones, the veteran. Alex Jones. You guys know who that is. Infowars.com. Alex Jones, the Central Banks. All right, that's a whole other show.
That's a good impression.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you got it. Glad you knew who I was talking about. Mm-hmm. I'll throw out little impressions. I got tons of impressions that I have you guys to know about. But. Thought I had it written down here. But I was just hearing in general. Alex Mack, not Alex Jones, was getting thrown around by DJ Jones at one point. So the thing is, though, you did mention it. Aaron Banks and his development. I think possibly in the games it might be easier because he may not be going up against as good as D tackles in the real games as when he plays against our guys in practice.
Right.
Definitely our guys will toughen them up, no doubt. We have a stacked D line without a doubt. It's going to be very interesting, but hopefully with O-line, I noticed this. I think O-line is always the last position group, in my opinion, to gel and get things together before the season starts. There's definitely more of a cohesion thing. With O-line, it's almost like you say, "Hey, plug and play this guy, get this." Bring in this talented free agent or whatever, and you're automatically going to have a great offensive line. It doesn't always work like that. There's a lot of communication that goes on. Of course, Alex Mack, they say, is great at communicating with his offensive lineman, calling out the blitzes and stuff like that and the protection packages. So hopefully they all get it down. They all get accustomed to each other. The good thing about the right tackle position is McGlinchey, like I was telling people all off season, McGlinchey needs to put his size back on. He had no business. I don't know if he dropped 40 pounds. He looked like he dropped 50 pounds, and whatever weight he dropped, it ruined his play, especially in the pass protection. He looked really bad at times, and he needs to have a bounce back year without a doubt. But he's about like 335 pounds right now. Looks the part. Hopefully he plays more of the part. Excellent run blocker. Just needs to step up his pass protection. And speaking of pass blocking, let's jump up. I heard Sam. Well, this is more pass rushing, you could say. But I heard Samson Ebukam in one-on-ones had a sack on Trent Williams and McGlinchey today. So those two tackles got their work cut out for them in practice. Sounds like Ebukam stepping up to the plate. They have him working strictly with the defensive line. You got anything to add about that with Sosa?
Yeah, no, that's a great point you just made about Samson Ebukam. But going back to McGlinchey, I don't know what he was doing last year. Was he playing tight end last year? I don't know what he was doing last year, but as you mentioned, I'm glad that he put back on weight. And this is a make or break year for McGlinchey. This is the final year of his contract with the 49ers. The 49ers picked up his 5th-year option for this year. McGlinchey is not going to want to take any hometown discounts. He's going to want to get paid, top 5 right tackle money. I'm not sure.
These are expensive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if that's going to come from the 49ers, but he's got to ball out and try to get that generational wealth for him and his family. And, I love to say iron sharpens iron, and Samson going up against Trent Williams will definitely help out his game, because Trent Williams, he's the best left tackle in the NFL, him and Bakhtiari in Green Bay. So by him going up against Trent Williams every day in practice, he can only get better. So I like it. He's going to win some battles and he's going to lose some battles. And you mentioned the offensive line. That is one unit where they, it helps when they work together. Obviously, if one offensive lineman is bad, it's going to show on film and in the game. So they have to work as a cohesive unit. And Alex Mack will definitely help that with his, veteran leadership and calling out blitzes and things like that. So.
Yeah, if Bosa gets going and Sosa gets going, we're gonna have Bosa and Sosa and Bosa. So,
I like that.
Another pass rusher who a lot of people have kind of gave up on, and they're mad that we paid him all this money. I was mad that he wasn't on the field, but I wasn't like personally mad at the guy, because I still think if healthy, he's got a lot to do. He can do a lot for us, and that's Dee Ford. Physically, he looks pretty good so far right now in camp. I saw him running around, and the guy looks like he's in incredible shape. He's big, he's buff, he's ripped. He just looks like he's putting the work in the offseason, so hopefully it pans out. That'll be such a bonus for us if we could get anything out of Dee Ford.
Yeah, Dee Ford, we traded from him from the Kansas City Chiefs, and when Dee Ford is healthy, this is one of the best defenses, I think, in the NFL, at least one of the best defensive pass rushers. But last year, unfortunately, he was out for the whole year, and he's looked good so far in camp. We'll see what happens when the pads come on, but anything we get from Dee Ford, I think, is a bonus. Hopefully we use him sparingly, him and Bosa in the first month of the year. And then hopefully for Dee Ford, we just use him on obvious passing third down situations. I think that would be best for Dee Ford. We don't want to use him too much. But I'm glad Lynch got reinforcements along that defensive line with, Arden Key, Samson, Maurice Hurst, Zach Kerr, Jordan Willis. He's suspended for the first 6 weeks of the year, but he'll be back and he'll be fresh. So at least we have, reinforcements along that defensive line.
Just want to say what's up to another person. There's always these cool people popping up in the chat, and I always got to show them some love. So we got Jesse Naylor from Last Second Sports. What's up, man? How you doing? This guy's a writer for the Sports Illustrated 49ers website, and he's also an MMA writer as well. He's an accomplished MMA writer. This guy really knows his Niners, really knows the sports in general. He's always on with Grant Cohn, and he's on the Hammer and Nail show too with Jack Hammer. There you go. What's good? He's on the Jack Hammer show with Jack Hammer sometimes. The Hammer and Nail show.
I believe this is year 5 for McGlinchey, because I believe we picked up his 5th-year option for this year. I believe. So
I think next year will be year 5.
Well, so technically this is his last year that the Niners have control. So basically, after next season, he will become a free agent.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And one more thing. He said this D line goes from top 7 to arguably the best with D Ford's health. So pray for D Ford's health. Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt, we definitely need D Ford healthy. Oh yeah, back to McGlinchey earlier with the Waken. I think McGlinchey's been hitting up those buffets with Aaron Banks like he needs to. So that's good to have.
That's funny.
Yep. And about the D line too, we also have you mentioned Arden Key. My boy Joey Mahoney over in the chat put me onto Arden Key back in 2018 and was saying that we should draft him. I believe in round 1 or round 2 he wanted him. He saw a lot of upside of potential in the guy and was telling me this guy's a stud pass rusher coming out of LSU. And I definitely had my eye on him on the Raiders. I didn't sit and watch full Raider games or anything like that, but it seemed like he was underperforming for whatever reason. And when we picked him up, my eyes got big. My eyes got wide open. I was like, okay, cool. We signed Arden Key. I wonder if he can actually do anything with us. And they said he underperformed with the Raiders. What I actually did was I sat and watched some film on Arden Key and just to see what he was doing on the Raiders, especially in the pass rush. And what I saw was a guy, and what I heard from a lot of people and what I saw myself was that it's a guy who would be his man. He'd get the pressure, but he'd always whiff on the quarterback. And he'd whiff on the hit, the QB hit, or the sack, one of the two. So the question is, we have one of the best D-line coaches in the game, Chris Kocurek. When you see that guy out there, man, he is so fired up with the D-line. You feel like you want to play football again when you watch Chris Kocurek. The way he yells and screams at everybody. I don't know how he does it. He must down like 5 Red Bulls before each practice. He's more hyped up than the players are. But Chris Kocurek, as intense and as hyped up he is, this guy really knows what he's doing in terms of coaching up the D-line. And we also have Daryl Tapp, a former NFL defensive lineman, helping out, too, as an assistant D-line coach. So hopefully we can get something out of Arden Key, get some production out of him. That would be really nice. We got 3 pass rushers that we can rotate aside from Bosa. And last year we were so thin at pass rusher, we were playing freaking Eric Armstead in a pass rusher position, which I could not stand. And I strictly want Eric Armstead to D-tackle. That's it.
No, I agree. And in addition to Arden Key, we got another former Raider in Maurice Hurst. And I don't know what it is with the Raiders, but they haven't had success drafting defensive players. Either they're not drafting the right player or they're not developing the player. And as you mentioned, Chris Kocurek, one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL, hopefully he can get the most out of Arden Key. And Arden Key will be surrounded with better talent. I mean, I don't know if you looked at the Raiders D-line recently, but the Niners D-line have better talent, and hopefully that will benefit Arden Key.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, that would definitely be a bonus too because we got him cheap. So yeah, without a doubt. I just read something funny in the chat. It caught me off guard. People are always cracking me up on here. Let's switch over to the safeties. Let's say because I haven't talked about safety since I started this show. And this is in regards to the rookies we got. From what I hear, Talanoa Hufanga, some want to say he might be Troy Polamalu 2.0 coming out of USC. He's looking pretty good in practice, and this is coming from Grant Cohn. Again, I mentioned him. If you guys hate Grant Cohn, I'm sorry, you're watching the wrong show. I can't go to the practice to myself and write this stuff down, so I got to go off of something. All right, but shout out to Grant Cohn. I love the guy. He's a good guy. Really good guy, actually. He gives a lot of people opportunities, man. If you don't know about that, research that because there's no way you can trash Grant Cohn, man. He helps out so many people. So very serious about that. But it sounds like Talanoa Hufanga is looking good at safety. The coaches like him, and they even have him playing at single high safety spots, not just in the box. From what I'm hearing, and so far he's looking good. And what I'm hearing is he's very instinctual. Do you know anything about Talanoa Hufanga that you want to shed light on, or?
Well,
do you have any thoughts about coming out of the draft?
Yeah, I think he was definitely a good draft pick. He's drafted in the 5th round out of SC. I think we should temper our expectations. Troy Polamalu is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best safeties of the last 2 decades. But yeah, it's good to hear that he's doing well in training camp. I think right now the projected starters at the safety positions are Jimmy Ward, Jaquiski Tartt, and then you got Tavon Wilson and Tony Jefferson. So we'll see how Hufanga competes in training camp and in preseason. I think he should make the 53-man roster, and I think he'll contribute on special teams. But it's good that he's playing a single high safety, and because that was a knock on him in college. He's more of a box safety. He's better against the run. his pass coverage leaves a little bit to be desired, but he's around some great veterans and Tart and Ward and Wilson and Jefferson, so they can teach him, how to play better coverage, pass coverage. And I think he's in a great situation. And I'm looking forward to seeing him progress through training camp and preseason.
Yeah, with one thing I liked about Hufanga when I was watching him and watching his highlights. And Eric Davis also said this too. I was on one of his streams while I was typing on one of his streams, and he brought this up that what he likes about Talanoa Hufanga is that he forces turnovers. He's always in a situation where the ball, he finds a way to get a reception or force a fumble or get a fumble. So hopefully he continues that in the NFL, because a lot of people love Jimmy Ward or they think Tart's a good player or whatever, but our safeties haven't really been creating turnovers. They haven't been around the ball.
True.
If anything, their backups seem to have been more around the ball, like Tarvarius Moore, even though he's injured. He had a good nose for the ball. A lot of people don't like Marcel Harris, but I think Marcel Harris has a very, very good nose for the ball. He can punch balls out and everything. So it's going to be interesting to see where Talanoa Hufanga fits in this.
Yeah, and I hear Marcel Harris has been playing linebacker.
So that's what I've been hearing too.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's going to be interesting because I thought he'd be undersized to play linebacker, but he's got that toughness in him, and he likes to play more towards the line of scrimmage. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure who this is. This is either Trez or Trey, I think, from the Rombo show.
Breezy
says TNT. Says TNT in the house. I always laugh when you do that. Was good. We're gonna hear some more of it in a second, though. So this guy really quick. The Niner you love to hate. 510.
What's good?
That's my boy Easy. Says Bash. And then what else does he say? He said he just heard Carson Wentz broke his foot. Jimmy to Indy for his second, maybe the first. Oh, the Jimmy talk is already started. I was trying to avoid that topic today, but it's always a topic conversation. Yeah. Jimmy and Trey Lance. I remember when I played your intro video earlier, and it was on draft day, and then you were celebrating. And you're like, Let's go, baby! Trade to the bay, baby! Trade to the bay, let's go! I was like, man, you need to make that a frick. If Trey Lance ever becomes, I don't know, you can start off and say Jay in the Bay. Make it your theme song. I don't know, man. That's just catchy, man. You gotta find a way to make a Jay in the Bay theme song. And I don't know, from what I've been hearing from people is that you're a big Jimmy supporter. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's hear your take on the whole quarterback situation.
So I got to say first, Jimmy G, that's my quarterback. So Jimmy G, unfortunately, the best ability is availability, and Jimmy G has missed more games than he's played. Very true. But the 49ers have had one winning season under Kyle Shanahan, and that's when Jimmy G was a starting quarterback. Is Jimmy G great? No. Is he garbage? No. I think at his best, he's an above average quarterback. He puts the Niners in situations to win. Is he going to throw for 50 touchdowns a season? No. I like his stat line from 2019, which was 27 touchdowns. I would like to see his INTs get below double figures. But there's a reason Jimmy G is still on the team. We could have easily cut or traded Jimmy G in February or March of this year. I think Shanahan already knew he wanted to upgrade at the quarterback position. We could have easily gotten an average quarterback like, Mitchell Trubisky, Tyrod Taylor, just a placeholder, right? But no, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch stuck with Jimmy G because he still has value to the team. I know some fans don't want to see that. They want to see Trey Lance start week 1, but Kyle Shanahan still has value Kyle Shanahan still has confidence in Jimmy G, and I think that's why he's still on the team. And I don't know if everyone's privy to Jimmy G's contract. He's got 2 years left on his deal. I think we owe him about $27 million each season, but only $2 million of that is guaranteed. So what that means is Jimmy G could get cut tomorrow. We cut him a $2 million check, and he's gone. Why haven't the Niners done that? Because Shanahan still has faith in Jimmy G. I think that's why. I know everyone wants to see Trey Lance. He's a new young gun on the block. I want to see him too, but let's see how he plays against 11 on 11 with the pads on against the NFL defense. That's what I want to see.
There's a lot of mixed reactions among Niner fans. Man. I've had this Jimmy conversation. I mean, over the past 6 months, maybe every day with Niner fans. It's unbelievable. And I'll be honest. I'll be 100% honest. Jimmy has let me down. So in 2017, Jimmy takes over. We had freaking Brian Hoyer and we had CJ Beathard at quarterback. Jimmy steps in compared to those guys and looks amazing. And in my opinion, that was the best that Jimmy has ever looked. That was back when Jimmy was obviously more mobile back then. It was before his torn ACL. And what disappointed me about Jimmy is that from the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl up until last year, there were times where Jimmy looked like he was playing scared. Now, so it let me down a bit, and a lot of people were blaming it on the offensive line last year. Mm-hmm. I actually looked it up on Pro Football Reference, and it showed Jimmy G's how many times he was unpressured and his pressure rate for each season, and it only went up 1 percentage point from 2019 to 2020. So yeah, the O-line played a little bit worse last year, but it was in terms of pass protection, but it wasn't as bad as what people were saying, at least according to the Pro Football Reference when I was reading on there. But Jimmy G, like you said, is he trash? No, he's not trash. Obviously, he's not trash. Where do I rank him? Maybe top 22. I was looking at a list of top 32 quarterbacks. So I used to have Jimmy kind of in the top 10, but I don't know. I just don't see him as top 10 anymore. I saw a lot of limitations in this game. There were times where he'd only resort to 5-yard and 10-yard passes and rely on the whole run after the catch or yak yardage, whatever you want to call it, with the receivers. So. Yeah, Jimmy's better. Jimmy's a good guy to have around if you got a rookie quarterback. I mean, I love Trey Lance. I'm really excited and pumped up to see the guy. Without a doubt, I talk about him like crazy, but I have to be realistic. I can't be a homer about it either. I have to wait to see him really step up and grab this quarterback position by the horns and say, "I'm the man. I'm more talented. I belong. I'm gonna prove everybody wrong and show I'm this amazing rookie sensation." Otherwise, he may have to take a back seat for a while, whether it's up until Jimmy starts playing bad or whether it's up until he gets hurt or maybe just midway point in the season, who knows? Trey steps up and grasps everything and shows that he's truly ready to take over then. And I want him on the field as much as possible, but I can't be stupid about it. We have to see if he really earns it. I don't want him to get handed anything on a silver platter, without a doubt. I'm not about that. You got to prove yourself on this field.
I totally agree with that, and I like Mahoney's comment where he says, "Yes, Jay in the Bay, Jimmy is worth $2." but here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I think people need to give Jimmy G credit. If anyone, and I love when people say this argument that anyone could have been the quarterback in the 2019 season. Well, if that's the case, then why is Jimmy still on the team? If anyone could just play quarterback, go ahead, bring in Fitzmagic. Bring in Tyrod Taylor, bring in Mitch Trubisky, Andy Dalton, bring in just your average quarterback. I mean, Jimmy G, this isn't Brian Hoyer. This isn't just a career backup quarterback. I don't think 2019 was a fluke. I don't think he's great, but I think he's good. And I think everyone has their opinions. The number one opinion that matters is Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan still has Jimmy G on the team. If he didn't want him on the team, it's because he didn't see value in Jimmy, and he wouldn't be on the team. It's not about money. The Niners don't have to pay him. It's $2 million. They cut him tomorrow. So for someone that doesn't think that Jimmy G gives the Niners the best chance to win, then explain to me why is he still on the team? That's all I want to know.
And just to jump off topic a little quick, just want to say what's up to Dan Castillo again. He says, if this man can stay healthy, I believe he would make noise on our offense. Jalen Hurd, baby. Love me some Jalen Hurd, man. I just want to see him playing the whole preseason, playing the whole season. And I think as long as he's healthy, that's the biggest issue with him. I see plenty of talent and upside in him. If you want to tell me otherwise, feel free to. But I see a lot of potential in Jalen Hurd, and I'm really rooting for the guy. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat. Corey Davis, a big supporter of my channel, says, "Happy Friday to y'all, and I hope y'all have a wonderful Friday. And always remember, the right way is always the 49ers way. Go 49ers. Thank you."
What's good, KD? What's good, KD? Good? How you doing, KD?
What's good in the hood? So, the quarterback competition is going to be very interesting. Supposedly, Josh Rosen made a couple of passes today. I don't know much about Sudfeld, but do you have an opinion on those two guys?
I don't know much about Sudfeld. I mean, I know he played with the Philadelphia Eagles, but he was basically a backup so far. Josh Rosen, I mean, some people would say he didn't get a fair shot with the Arizona Cardinals. You know, he was a rookie quarterback Oh, he was a rookie quarterback forced to start. Huh. I don't know if the Niners want to do that again, right? I don't know. Maybe we should take a page from the AZ Cardinals. I know you're going to say I'm crazy for comparing Rosen to Trey Lance, but there's a difference between college and the pros. When Trey Lance was in college, he was the fastest guy on the field. He was the most athletic guy on the field. He dominated on the college level. The NFL is different, and we have a quarterback who has won. And I see the Niner you love to hate comment. He says, because we signed him to a contract for what we thought he was going to be and had to let it play out. Here's the thing, not the Niner you love to hate. We don't have to let it play out. Jimmy G could have been cut yesterday, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago. If we don't have to let it play out anymore. The only guaranteed money for Jimmy G is $2 million. If Jimmy G didn't have value to the team, Kyle Shanahan would cut him, would trade him. He would have done that months ago. Now, if the Niners would have traded or cut Jimmy G in February or March, and everyone was saying, we draft Trey Lance, everyone's saying, hey, let's have Trey Lance start, I would be right behind you guys, because most likely the Niners would have Sudfeld, Rosen, and let's just say Tyrod Taylor. We know Tyrod Taylor's not a franchise quarterback. So, yeah, put Trey Lance in, have him start week 1. It'll be growing pains, but I don't know if everyone else feels this way, but I think the Niners can still compete in the NFC West division. We can still win the division and have a deep playoff run, and I think we can do that with Jimmy G.
Yeah, so what was I going to say? We were talking about Rosen. I want to touch on Rosen really quick. Yeah, so the reason why I brought up the backup quarterback situation, I think we should have a better backup quarterback situation hopefully going this season, only because that we added a former first-round draft pick to our backup quarterback position. We had undrafted Nick Mullins, who shined in that Raider game, but in reality, if you watch the game and watch his other games, Kyle Shanahan schemed the living daylights out of the Raiders, so you could kind of got to give that game to Shanahan. But Rosen beat us twice. I believe it was his rookie year when he was on the Cardinals. He's a former first-round draft pick out of UCLA, has a strong arm. I just see him as a significant upgrade over Nick Mullins, over C.J. Beathard. Nick Mullins was undrafted. C.J. was drafted, but in reality, when you watch him, he might as well have been undrafted. So hopefully our backup quarterback situation does look a lot better. And I don't know about Sudfeld, but if Sudfeld says, hey, I'm going to be the guy, I'm going to be the man, more power to him.
You're definitely right. We needed to upgrade the quarterback room, and the Mullins and Beathard train had run its course. I'm glad we got other quarterbacks. Rosen, he didn't work out with Arizona. He got traded to Miami. He couldn't win the starting position there. Then he went to Tampa Bay, learned behind TB12, and now he's here with the Niners. But I got to be honest, if Rosen or Sudfeld are playing meaningful games in the regular season, the 49ers season is in trouble, I think.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You don't want those guys stepping on the field,
Right.
You want your backup quarterback playing maybe one game all year.
And good comment by Mahoney. I agree. Good comment by Mahoney. It's a totally different situation.
Yeah. Joey Mahoney says at Jay in the Bay, the only thing I'll say is Arizona did not have Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, Shanahan play calling, run game. And hey, it helps to have our Niner defense too when it's all healthy with all those horses out there. Without a doubt. Well, something's making you laugh. Oh yeah, this other comment by Joey. Joey's cracking up. He's cracking up Jay in the Bay over here, man. Because you have to remember, Shanahan will scheme my grandma open and she's in a wheelchair. Oh why. And Dan Castillo, a little Jimmy G content. Comment here, it says Jimmy G has a lot to prove this season, so I think he comes out on fire. This is making or breaking for Jimmy, man. All the criticism he's gotten, even if you're the best quarterback in the league when you're on the field, if you're getting injured from time to time, you're not necessarily going to be the best because, as they say, quote unquote, the best ability is availability. But hey, that's the nature of the business. You're paying this guy millions of dollars. You better have him on the field. And we saw what happened. When our starting quarterback was not on the field, the season became a huge blunder, and it sucked. Yeah. Oh, yeah, something I want to bring up today. I don't know how you feel about this. I'm going to shift over a little bit to what we got going on in special teams. Brandon Ayuk is destined to be this team's punt returner this season, and he really wants to be the punt returner. And I have a little bit of a mixed opinion on that, but you can go ahead and speak on that first. If you're already aware of this, I'm not sure, but today that he really spoke up about that.
I think it's great that he has desire to be a punt returner, but I think the 49ers would be foolish in letting their best wide receiver return punts. We need Ayuk to play 60, 70 snaps on offense. He is the best wide receiver on offense. He'll probably play the most snaps if he's healthy this year on the offensive side of the ball. And no, we can't use him as a returner. We need to use someone who does not put as many snaps on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. How about Elijah Mitchell? You
never know.
He's very fleet of foot. He's a burner. Some say he's as fast as Raheem Mostert. Let's allow him to be the returner. Or we signed Simba Webster from the LA Rams. We signed Trent Sherfield from the Cardinals. There are other options that we can use in special teams, but the special teams unit definitely needs a boost because Jet McKinnon last year just wasn't cutting it. So
Peter McKinnon?
Yeah, he wasn't cutting it last year.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, you and I both will probably get super excited at certain points in the season if Ayuk is back there returning because he's a game breaker. Yeah. But I'd only want it in certain situations in the game if it's a really close game or if we need that extra spark. Otherwise, we did pick up Ambry Thomas as well. He's a cornerback out of Michigan, but he was an excellent returner in college. So, hey, I'm sure they're working him in the punt returns from what I hear as well. So, who knows? He may step up big on that too and step up and be the punt returner. So, any of you guys have any questions in the chat, feel free to drop them. Oh yeah, there's one interesting thing. Did you hear about? Well, the first person to break this to me was Joey Mahoney, my boy in the chat, and he's really high on this guy. Not sure if you're high on him, but he had 3 interceptions last year for the Arizona Cardinals, and he used to play on the Bengals. It's a cornerback, Drake Kirkpatrick. Not sure if you're aware of him, but we may possibly sign him. I know we brought him in, and from what I'm hearing, our young little rookie cornerbacks are experiencing some growing pains, and they're not looking too great right off the bat. So hence, we're trying to bring a veteran in possibly. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I heard about Drake Kirkpatrick. He had a workout with the team today. I'm not sure how that workout went, but Drake Kirkpatrick, he's a veteran corner, drafted out of Cincinnati, I believe, in 2012. Mm-hmm. He last played with the Arizona Cardinals, or our NFC West rival. He is a veteran, and if we do sign him, hopefully he would make the 53-man active roster. But honestly, I would rather see the 2 rookies we have, Lenore and Thomas. I want to see them get some playing time because, all of our corners besides Mosley are on 1-year deals. So I think it'll be very beneficial in their development, the 2 rookies, if they get some snaps in the regular season. But I got to be real. Emmanuel Mosley, I think he's on the COVID list, so he's out. Yeah, this is another reason why they brought in Drake Kirkpatrick. Mm-hmm. And Mosley was hurt last year. Ferret was hurt last year. So, we might need to bring in a veteran corner. And I haven't heard yet if they signed him, Drake Kirkpatrick, but I guess we'll see how his workout went.
Yeah, hopefully we do bring him in because I just want a veteran in there in some way, shape, or form. It's good to have those rookies in for depth and for to possibly have them step up in the future, but I don't know if they're ready just yet. Yeah. And hey, maybe this means that we can finally get rid of Dante Johnson. A lot of Niner fans don't like having Dante Johnson on the roster. I don't know. I don't really hate the guy, but everybody's kind of sick of seeing him lingering around. He's like that pest that you can never get rid of. Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully we do pick up him or another similar type veteran. Why not? He's got some size to him. He's about 6'2". Right. I think he's got some dog in him too because he almost got in a fight with DK Metcalf on the field. So yeah, I like that. I saw anybody who can give DK Metcalf some some nightmares or whatever or piss him off. Why not?
Exactly.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna switch things up here really quick. Just to get to know Jay and the Bay a bit better. Hey, I appreciate all the feedback and all the love in the chat. You guys are awesome, by the way. Great show out today. And if you're not in the chat and you're watching, we appreciate it without a doubt. So my guest today is Jay in the Bay. What's good? I can't do it like you do. Got a question for you. Sure. Growing up, gotta say shout out to this guy really, really quick because he's a big supporter of the channel. CG Ruthless Sports. Huge shout out to him. Big supporter of the channel. Subscribe to his channel. Without a doubt, you guys sub him up. Got a lot of good Niner content and some stuff for you wrestling fans too. So, Jay in the Bay, you're a Niner fan. I'm assuming you grew up in the Bay Area your whole life.
Yeah.
You woke up one day and you became a 49er fan. How did it happen?
Hey, first I got to say, everyone in the chat, make sure you like the stream. Let YouTube, let Bashar know that you're enjoying the content. But I would say, my most fondest memory and my earliest memory of the 49ers was 1998 playoff game, 49ers in Candlestick against the Green Bay Packers. T.O. had the catch, and that's now referred to as the catch 2. Mm-hmm. That's my earliest memory, and I believe then that's when I became a 49er fan. I can remember my older sister, she was watching the 49ers, and when that game was played, I was probably 11, so by that age, I was still watching wrestling.
I was the same way.
Playing video games.
Same thing.
But I saw the excitement she got and my family got from the 49ers. And I was like, man, I need to just, start watching football. So that's when I first got into it. And it's been a blast ever since.
And we were fortunate to have T.O., the great Hall of Fame wide receiver, following up Jerry Rice, who's an amazing Hall of Fame wide receiver. And back when I was 11, too, I was heavily into wrestling, still watching cartoons, still watching whatever. So I wasn't this huge football fan. I didn't become a huge Niner fan until my first year junior high, 7th grade. But so you kind of had a little bit of influence from your family rub off on you, but your Niner fandom grew from there. That's cool, man. That's cool. And so I got a little bit more questions for you. Do you remember the first game you attended and how'd that go?
The first game I attended, I went with a buddy, and it was at Candlestick, and he's a Washington football team fan, and the Washington football team were visiting the Niners in Candlestick, and we went to that game. I'm trying to think. I believe that was probably in the early 2000s we went, and that was my first game at Candlestick.
Who was playing quarterback?
Man, that's a good question. For the 49ers, I don't think it was Alex Smith yet. I think
was that Craig Erickson season where we had like 10 guys play quarterback?
It might have been. It was a few years before Alex Smith, and I remember Washington. I think they had Mark Brunell.
Okay,
it was a few years before that.
Got it. Yeah. Have you ever been to a Niner away game? Because I haven't.
Niner away game? No.
Okay, that's definitely on my list. I gotta chalk that up and try to do that. Maybe I'll do it when we play at Levi's South.
Yeah,
against the Rams either this year or next year. That's definitely something I gotta knock out of the way on my end, without a doubt. I definitely have to do it. Any good experiences? Meeting players, or who the first player you met was, or any big time players that you met in terms of the 49ers?
So in high school, I played a little bit of football, and we had the opportunity to hang out with Terrell Owens.
Oh, wow.
So the entire team, we went to San Francisco. I think it was like the Nike store in San Francisco. And Terrell Owens came, he spoke to the team, and that was pretty cool. So that experience definitely stuck out with me. And that's why to this day, Terrell Owens, he's one of my all-time favorite 49er players. I wish he would have retired as a 49er and spent his entire career with the 49ers.
Same here. Yeah, it was very disappointing the way the whole Terrell Owens thing shook up, and things shook up with Garcia and Mariucci all at once. It was just like this huge implosion and like a nightmare as a 49er fan back in 2003, 2004 during that era. It's just like everything just went sour all of a sudden. It sucked. But hey, when we had T.O. around, we enjoyed him. He was awesome.
Absolutely.
He was a great, great player, without a doubt. Any bad experiences meeting Niner players, or anything kind of funny? Any funny stories?
No bad experiences. That's the only 49er player I've met. No bad experience.
Oh, and I'm going to call him D Nasty says this is going to be the last weekend without football. Okay, thanks for sharing all this. Okay, and do you plan on attending any games this year?
This year, probably not, because I really want to, continue with my YouTube channel, and I want to have like a pregame show, post-game show, and I like to do that in the comfort of my home. So this year, I probably will not attend any games. But I like your idea of going to an away game. I think that'd be pretty cool. And, the Rams, they got the $1 billion Palace, SoFi Stadium. It would be nice to go to
Levi's South.
Yeah, or even, Arizona Cardinals. That would be a good venue.
A lot of Niner fans in Arizona that rep hard of those games, too.
Nice.
Yeah. there's a sea of red on both sides.
Exactly.
Of the fan
Yeah.
base when you go there.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I see you. What jersey you wearing? Is that Frank Gore? I can't really
I
tell.
got the Frank Gore jersey. 21.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I got Patrick Willis. So I can't
Nice.
to see it. Repping
Nice.
number 52. Love Patrick Willis. I met Patrick Willis on the basketball court at 24 Hour Fitness in San Jose.
Oh wow.
Talked to him for a few minutes. This was like 1 month after we lost the Super Bowl, unfortunately, against the Ravens.
Wow.
Really, really nice guy. Super chill guy. Unfortunately, didn't get to take a picture with him. He just didn't want a huge mob developing. Once you see somebody take a picture with somebody, people get all crazy,
Yeah.
But really, really cool, chill guy, man. I was fortunate to meet him without a doubt. So let's see. I think I may have covered all the personal questions in terms of your fan. Oh, here we go. I brought the jersey thing because what was your first 49er jersey?
First 49er jersey was Terrell Owens.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're just a big Terrell Owens guy all the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Too bad. Hopefully he's watching, man. Otherwise, tag him on the video or something, man.
I know.
Instagram.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool if he commented on it or something. You never know. And here you go. I got a little question that's not 49 related, but somebody gives you $100 right now and says, "Hey, you can eat at your favorite restaurant of your choice. Where are you going?"
That's a good question. Well, I'm a big pizza lover, so it would probably be Scipollini's Pizza. They have great pizza. Also, I would say I've never been to Ruth Chris Steak. I hear that's a really good place.
Don't bother.
Don't bother.
No.
Well,
it's overrated. If you want to go to a real steakhouse, I'll get you a real steakhouse.
Yeah. Well, you have to point me into the direction of the real steakhouse. But yeah, that would always be nice. That'd be nice to go to a nice steak dinner. That would be cool too. But I'm an easy guy, easygoing. Pizza will always, pizza always will be my favorite.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, if you're ever in Roseville, I do have a pizza oven in my backyard. I have a lot of practice about. We're going on about 4 years of heavy pizza practice. So I got my pizza to the point where it's better than a lot of pizzerias. So if you're ever in town, I'll fire up a few pizzas. On my other YouTube channel, I got a video of me making some pizzas. So, hey, I love making pizzas, and you're always down to have some. I'm always down to make some for whoever comes over to my place, without a doubt. I call it Mad Pizza. But, you want to go to a badass steakhouse in the Bay Area, there's Fleming's. Look them up.
Fleming's, I've heard of them. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Fleming's is off the chain, dude.
Okay.
They have these like aged steaks where they keep these steaks in these curing rooms. It's so much better than any steak you buy from your local deli or butcher or shop or whatever. It's just it's off the chain, dude.
And Fleming's is in San Francisco, right?
I think there's one in Walnut Creek and one in Palo Alto. Yeah, one in Walnut Creek, one in Palo Alto, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. I ate at the locations in Southern California back in the day. And if somebody gives me $100, I'm heading over to the House of Prime Rib. Very similar to steak. That's another place you got to check out. The 49ers offensive linemen actually have their annual dinner there. So I first knew about them watching 49er postgame shows. They'd always bring them up. Gary Radich would always say, bring them up. And off the hook, though. I've only been to the House of Prime Rib once, but it was a memorable experience. And I had Ruth's Chris once, and it was terrible. So avoid Ruth's Chris, go to House of Prime Rib or Fleming's. All right, so... Hey, I just want to say shout out to all the people in the chat, all the people watching. You guys are off the hook. We appreciate the big turnout. Shout out to you, Jay in the Bay. I had a lot of fun. It's been a great show. Anything that you want to mention before we end the show today?
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, Bashar. It's great to interact and continue to build the 49er YouTube community. Everyone can find me at Jay in the Bay on YouTube, IG, Twitter. I even have a TikTok as well. And I want to point out a comment. Joey, he says the game I went to was September 22nd, 2002, week 3. And the game and Jeff Garcia was a quarterback. So shout out to Joey for, giving me that information. Cause that was 20 years ago now. So that was a very long time ago, but that was my first 49er game. And thanks for having me. I appreciate coming on.
Oh, you're welcome, man. It's been off the hook. All right, guys. So keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded.
Come on, 49er faithful, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah, area. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.